What's up, my brothers? So, in this post, we have a guy that walked into a room and discovered that another man had his hand on his girlfriend's waist. She apparently didn't know about it. I'm going to read you the post and provide some feedback. So it reads, I'm 27, my girlfriend's 23. We had a get-together with friends at our apartment, so they lived together over the weekend. One of her friends brought over a new boyfriend who I've met a few times. Nice enough dude who's very sociable and easygoing. However, during our get-together, I walked into the living area where a few of our friends were sitting at a table. I was shocked to see this new friend holding my girlfriend's waist as they sat next to each other. Okay, so they're sitting at a table in a row. He's got his hand on her waist, lower back, somewhere like that. At that moment, my girlfriend was telling a story to a friend next to hers. Okay, so it's dude, girlfriend, and friend beside her. She's talking to the other girl, so she's not even looking at this guy that's got his hand on her waist. He says, I didn't want to immediately start an argument confrontation. Definitely the right thing to do in a large group. So after thinking to myself what to do, I came over and lifted his hand off her waist. That's a G move. That's alpha move. He realized it was me instantly and shifted in his seat and took a drink of his liquor. I then sat down right next to him. Perfect. My girlfriend didn't really react in the moment. She just continued to talk to another friend of hers next to her. So she noticed that he did this, but didn't react or respond. He says, I certainly have an issue with this new dude in my apartment now. Oh, okay, so this is their apartment again. And he probably won't be allowed back over. Question is, should I be upset with my girlfriend? I tried to ask her why she didn't notice he was holding her waist, but her excuse was she was very drunk and didn't even know he was holding her waist. Am I being a bit naive here? Would the average person notice if somebody was holding on to their hip like that? All right, well, let's start up the car and go for a drive and deal with this one, and we'll provide some feedback. So I guess the first thing to deal with, is it possible for a woman to be sitting there, or any person to be sitting somewhere, and not realize that another person has their hand on your hip? You said hip waist area, okay? Now, look, if she's maybe crippled in a wheelchair and her nervous system doesn't work from like the neck down, then I would say absolutely. But I really question, her position saying, I didn't know it was there because I was drunk. I'm going to go with give me a break on that one. She probably knew, I guess on a balance of probabilities, almost 100% knew what his hand was and where it was, okay? The fact that she gave a slight reaction to him removing the hand from her hip and him shifting his weight and his attention to having a drink is a clear indicator to me that they both knew what they were doing. So this guy's living with his girlfriend and they have a get-together at their apartment. Now, the question that I would be asking here at this point is, if this is what she's doing in a relationship with me, in our house, with other people around, what could she potentially be doing when I'm not there and it's not in our house with other people around? That's a big red flag. Now, I would imagine if this dude had sort of vetted this gal up against my 20 red flags in that chapter of my book, and again, you don't need to get my book to get it. The email list is below, pinned in the top comment. You can opt in and get it for free completely. But there's definitely something going on here, okay? There's definitely something offside about this. I would not allow it. And I know for a fact my girlfriend wouldn't allow it. If I walked into a room, even if a dude sat next to her, she would definitely feel uncomfortable, and she definitely wouldn't allow another man to touch her, okay? This is completely offside. It is unacceptable. I would definitely have words with her. How you have those words is entirely up to you. I wouldn't be shocked if some guys would go in the comments right now and say, I wouldn't have just taken her hand off her hip. I would have told him to leave the apartment. That's one way that you can handle it. But I think that the way that he handled it, just by taking her hand off the hip and sitting down beside him, is a pretty solid move. I would have sat down beside him and looked at him and just said, what do you think you're doing, right? You want to go further than that and tell him to leave your apartment? That's an entirely other option that you could pursue. It's going to make a bit of a stink, obviously, but definitely have a word with your girlfriend about something like this. Do not let her get away with it. Put your foot down and set boundaries. People get mad when I say you have to set boundaries in relationships. This is what's called frame, okay? And in every relationship, you're going to have one person that is going to enter the other person's frame. In most relationships, guys enter her frame and let her lead and let her set the boundaries and let her sort of call the shots. That's how most relationships run today, because most guys are quite a bit weaker than what they were decades ago, where most men were strong, virtuous, and set strong boundaries. Today, it's kind of mostly accepted throughout most of society, it seems, where, you know, it's okay to let other men touch your woman. It's okay for other men to like do certain things which lead to beyond just okay, and they know it. The reason why most guys feel uncomfortable about this and raise it as a am I being an unreasonable question, like it's like the main reason why guys, you know, raise this is like, oh, am I being unreasonable, is because their intuition inherently knows that it is offside. You know, men have a strong desire to make sure that a woman is faithful and monogamous to him. If she does anything that starts to step out of that or starts to look like it's offside, like she's going to betray him, then he wants and he needs to do something about it. So asking questions is the right thing, removing the hands is the right thing. I would deal with the guy and her separately, but definitely don't let stuff like this slide, guys. This is a frame issue. If you don't do something about this, before you know it, she's going to be banging Kevin from sales. It's not just going to be a random hand on her hip. It's going to be more than that. And it's incumbent upon you as a man, if you're going to lead in a relationship and have good, strong frame, and again, you want good experience in life as a guy, getting the most out of it, that you deal with stuff like this. You know, if she's going to step out of line, you do something to fix it. So that being said, I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. Give the video a like. Again, in the top pinned comments, there's a whole bunch of useful links that you should definitely check out to my website, to get the free chapter in my book, my supplement line, and all that. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.